The Silent Watchers. The observation deck of Station Osiris floated in the dark between stars. Captain Elena Voss stood at the main viewport, her hands clasped behind her back. She watched the distant nebula paint colors across the black canvas of space. Behind her, the station hummed with the quiet energy of 200 souls going about their duties. Voss was 42 years old, with sharp features and eyes that missed nothing. She had commanded Osiris for 6 years, and in that time, she had learned patience. Her crew called the station home, but they all knew what Osiris really was. It was a listening post. A guardian. A secret keeper. Lieutenant James Park approached from the communications bay. He was young, barely 25, with nervous energy that never quite settled. In his hands, he carried a data tablet that glowed with urgent information. "Captain, we have multiple contacts entering the Theta sector," Park said. His voice was steady, but Voss could hear the tension underneath. She turned from the viewport. "How many?" 15 vessels. Definitely Kralix origin based on the energy signatures. They are heading toward the mining colony on Theta 7. Voss felt her jaw tighten. The Kralix dominion had been expanding aggressively for months. They were a species that valued strength above all else. Their ships were covered in thick armor, and their weapons could turn a small moon into dust. The Galactic Federation had issued warnings, but the Kralix ignored them every time. Theta 7 has what, 3,000 colonists? Voss asked. 3,200, according to last census. Most of them are civilians. Families. The colony defense grid has exactly 4 orbital platforms, all outdated. Voss walked to the tactical display. The holographic map showed the Kralix fleet moving with purpose. They were not trying to hide their approach. Why would they? As far as the galaxy knew, humanity had minimal military presence. The Federation believed humans were peaceful traders and explorers, barely capable of defending their own worlds. "Send a priority alert to Earth Command," Voss ordered. "Tell them we need authorization to intervene." Park nodded and moved quickly back to communications. Voss continued staring at the tactical display. 15 Kralix warships against 4 defense platforms. It would be a massacre. The response from Earth Command came faster than expected. Admiral Richard Torres himself appeared on the holographic communicator. He was a broad-shouldered man with silver hair and a face marked by years of difficult decisions. "Captain Voss, we have been monitoring the situation," Torres said. "The Federation Council is meeting right now to discuss the Kralix aggression. They are expected to issue another strongly worded statement." "Admiral, those colonists will be dead before the Federation finishes writing their statement," Voss replied. Torres nodded slowly. "I know. That is why I am authorizing Protocol 7. You have full discretion to protect those civilians." Protocol 7. Voss felt her heart rate increase slightly. In 30 years of human space exploration, Protocol 7 had never been activated. It meant dropping the mask. It meant showing the galaxy what humanity had really been building while everyone thought they were harmless. "Understood, Admiral. Osiris will handle this." Torres leaned forward slightly. "Captain, remember that once you activate Protocol 7, we cannot take it back. The galaxy will know." "Then perhaps it is time they knew," Voss said. The transmission ended. Voss turned to find her entire bridge crew watching her. They had all heard the conversation. They all understood what was about to happen. "Attention all personnel," Voss announced over the station-wide channel. "This is the captain. We are activating Protocol 7. All civilian staff are to report to emergency shelters immediately. Combat teams, report to your stations. Engineering, I need full power to all systems." The station transformed. Panels that had appeared to be simple hull plating slid away to reveal weapons that had been hidden for years. Missile tubes emerged from concealed bays. Energy cannons extended from recessed housings. The docking clamps holding 3 innocent-looking cargo shuttles released, and those shuttles immediately began shifting their configuration. Hull sections rearranged. Engines upgraded their output. Within minutes, the 3 shuttles had transformed into sleek attack fighters. Down in the engineering section, Chief Engineer Maria Santos watched her displays with satisfaction. She had maintained these hidden systems for 6 years, running diagnostics in secret, keeping everything ready for a day that might never come. Now that day had arrived. All weapons systems are online and functioning perfectly, Santos reported. Power distribution is optimal. We are ready for combat operations. Voss settled into the captain's chair. Helm, plot an intercept course for the Kralix fleet. Maximum speed. The helmsman, a quiet man named Chen who had been flying ships since he was 16, input the commands. Course plotted, Captain. ETA to intercept is 18 minutes. Execute. Station Osiris moved. For 6 years, it had maintained a fixed position, appearing to be nothing more than a research outpost studying stellar phenomena. Now it accelerated with shocking speed. The engines, rated as standard fusion drives in all Federation databases, revealed their true nature. They were military-grade plasma drives capable of pushing the station to velocities that would surprise most species. On Theta 7, the colonists had received the evacuation warning. Governor Sarah Chen, a former Earth military officer herself, coordinated the evacuation with calm efficiency. She knew the colony could not be defended by conventional means. But she also knew something the Kralix did not. Humanity had not been idle during its 30 years in space. The Kralix fleet commander was named Warlord Thex. He sat in his command throne aboard the warship Dominator, watching the approaching mining colony with satisfaction. This would be an easy conquest. The humans would surrender immediately or they would die. Either outcome was acceptable. Lord Thex, we are detecting an unusual energy signature approaching from our stern, his tactical officer reported. Probably a Federation patrol ship coming to deliver another useless warning, Thex growled. Ignore it. Lord, the signature is growing stronger. Whatever it is moving very fast. Thex glanced at his tactical display. A single contact was indeed approaching from behind. Its speed was impressive, but it was alone. 1 ship against 15. He almost laughed. When it gets close enough, destroy it, Thex ordered. I want to send a message to the Federation about interfering in Kralix affairs. Station Osiris dropped out of high-speed transit exactly 200 kilometers behind the Kralix fleet. At this range, the station's weapons could hit with devastating accuracy. Target lock acquired on all 15 vessels, Lieutenant Park reported. Weapons ready. Voss opened a communication channel to the Kralix fleet. Kralix vessels, this is Captain Elena Voss of the United Earth Defense Force. You are ordered to withdraw from this system immediately. This is your only warning. Warlord Thexa's face appeared on the view screen. He was massive, with thick gray scales and eyes that glowed orange. A human dares to give me orders. Your species exists only because we have not yet decided to conquer you. Leave now, or I will add your station to my list of destroyed targets. I gave you a chance, Voss said quietly. She closed the channel and looked at her weapons officer. Fire. What happened next would be analyzed by military strategists across the galaxy for years to come. Station Osiris unleashed its full arsenal in a coordinated strike that demonstrated the peak of human weapons technology. Rail guns fired solid projectiles accelerated to a fraction of light speed. These projectiles, guided by advanced AI targeting systems, struck the Kralix ships with pinpoint accuracy. Shields that were designed to absorb energy weapons found themselves useless against kinetic impacts. Hulls crumpled. Engines exploded. Missile batteries launched smart ordnance that maneuvered around defensive fire and struck weak points in armor plating. Laser arrays, far more powerful than anything humanity had publicly revealed, carved through smaller vessels with surgical precision. The Kralix tried to return fire. Their plasma cannons spun up and launched bolts of superheated matter toward Osiris. The station's defensive shields absorbed the impacts with ease. These were not the basic energy barriers that most species used. These were multi-layered gravitational shields that could disperse kinetic and energy weapons alike. Warlord Thex watched in disbelief as his fleet was torn apart. 3 ships destroyed in the first 30 seconds. 5 more crippled and drifting. His own flagship shuddered under repeated impacts. All ships, emergency retreat. Thex roared. Get us out of here. But retreat required time to charge faster-than-light drives. Time that Osiris was not giving them. The 3 attack fighters that had launched from the station swooped through the Kralix formation, targeting engines and weapon systems. The pilots flew with precision that came from years of secret training. In less than 4 minutes, the battle was over. 10 Kralix vessels had been completely destroyed. The remaining 5 were crippled, their engines dead, their weapons offline. They hung in space like broken toys. Voss stood and walked to the viewport. She could see the debris field spreading slowly. She felt no joy in this victory, only grim satisfaction that the colonists on Theta 7 were safe. Open a channel to the surviving Kralix ships, she ordered. Warlord Thex appeared again, his face twisted with rage and fear. What are you? He demanded. I am what happens when you underestimate humanity, Voss replied. For 30 years, we have allowed the galaxy to believe we are weak. We have smiled and traded and explored while keeping our true strength hidden. But when you threaten our people, when you attack our colonies, you see what we really are. The Federation will hear of this, Thex said weakly. I am counting on it. You are going to limp back to Kralix space and tell your Dominion exactly what happened here. Tell them that humanity is no longer hiding. Tell them that if they attack us again, we will do more than disable your ships. Are we clear? Thex said nothing, but his expression showed he understood. Voss closed the channel and turned to her crew. They were looking at her with expressions ranging from pride to concern. They had just changed everything. Send a full report to Earth Command, Voss said. And someone contact the colonists on Theta 7. Let them know they are safe. As the crew moved to carry out her orders, Voss returned to the viewport. In the distance, she could see the lights of Theta 7. 3,200 people who would wake up tomorrow because humanity had finally decided to stop pretending. The message reached Earth within hours. It reached the Galactic Federation within a day. And across hundreds of worlds, in council chambers and war rooms and news broadcasts, everyone learned the same shocking truth. Humanity had been hiding something. Something big. Something that changed every calculation about power and territory and military strength in the known galaxy. The age of human restraint was over. The Council's awakening. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Federation Council was built to inspire awe. Its ceiling rose 300 meters high, covered in bioluminescent panels that mimicked the light of 1,000 suns. The floor was polished crystal that reflected every movement. And in the center of this magnificent space stood Ambassador David Reeves, feeling very small. Reeves was 58 years old, a career diplomat who had spent 15 years representing humanity to the Federation. He was a patient man, skilled at navigating the complex politics of interstellar relations. But today, patience was not going to be enough. The council chamber held representatives from 470 species. Some sat in traditional chairs. Others floated in tanks of liquid. A few existed as patterns of energy contained in specialized fields. All of them were staring at Reeves with varying degrees of shock, anger, and fear. High Chancellor Vorin, the current leader of the Federation Council, was a Talaxian. His species resembled tall, thin humanoids with blue skin and 3 eyes arranged in a triangle on their faces. He stood at the central podium, his robes flowing around him. Ambassador Reeves, Voren began, his voice amplified across the enormous chamber. This council has reviewed the incident at Theta 7. We have examined the sensor data. We have interviewed the Kralix survivors. And we find ourselves confused by what we have learned. Reeves kept his expression neutral. What aspect confuses you, Chancellor? All of it. Voren gestured at the holographic display that floated above the assembly. It showed the battle, captured by automated monitoring satellites. For 30 years, humanity has maintained that your military consists of approximately 50 defense vessels and 20 orbital stations. Yet at Theta 7, we witnessed a single station destroy or disable 15 Kralix warships in under 4 minutes. Station Osiris performed admirably, Reeves agreed. Station Osiris does not exist in our database as a military installation. It is registered as a scientific research facility studying dark matter. Reeves allowed himself a small smile. It does study dark matter. That does not mean it cannot also defend itself. A ripple of noise moved through the chamber. The delegate from the Hexeron Collective, a species that resembled large crystalline structures, spoke through its translator. Are you saying humanity has been concealing military assets while presenting yourself as a peaceful species? We are a peaceful species, Reeves replied calmly. We have never initiated aggression against another member of this federation. We have honored every treaty and agreement we have signed. But peaceful does not mean defenseless. Warlord Thex himself was present in the chamber, brought as evidence by the Kralix delegation. He stood with visible effort, his body still bearing the marks of his ship's damage. This human lies. They attacked us without provocation. Reeves turned to face the Kralix warlord. You entered a human colony system with 15 warships. You ignored all communication attempts. Your own battle logs, which have been submitted as evidence, show that you plan to either conquer or destroy the colony. That is the definition of provocation. The colony was weak, Thex growled. It existed in territory that borders Kralix space. We had every right to claim it. Actually, you did not, Reeves said, his voice hardening. Theta 7 was established 42 years ago, long before the Kralix Dominion existed in its current form. It is recognized Federation territory. Your attack violated 3 separate treaties. Chancellor Voren raised a hand for silence. The legality of the Kralix actions is not in question. They will face appropriate sanctions. What concerns this council is the revelation that humanity has been concealing significant military capability. Ambassador Reeves, how many installations like Station Osiris does humanity operate? Reeves took a breath. This was the moment. The question he had known would come. The answer that would change everything. Currently, humanity operates 147 stations with combat capabilities similar to Osiris, Reeves said. We also maintain a fleet of approximately 3,000 warships of various classes, plus another 15,000 auxiliary vessels. The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted questions in dozens of languages. The translator system struggled to keep up. Chancellor Voren had to activate the chamber's sound-dampening field to restore order. You have over 3,000 warships? Voren asked, his 3 eyes wide with disbelief. The Federation database shows only 50 human vessels. Those 50 vessels are our diplomatic fleet, Reeves explained. They are designed for showing the flag, conducting patrols in established safe zones, and participating in joint Federation exercises. They represent our public face. And the other 3,000? They are what we keep for emergencies. For situations like Theta 7, where our people are threatened and the Federation is unable or unwilling to act quickly enough. A delegate from the Verithan Union, a species known for their obsession with honesty, stood up. This is deception on a massive scale. You have violated the spirit of Federation cooperation. Have we? Reeves challenged. Show me the treaty that requires member species to disclose their complete military assets. Show me the regulation that mandates transparency about defensive capabilities. You cannot, because no such requirement exists. We have told no lies. We have simply chosen not to advertise our strength. Why? Chancellor Vorin asked. Why hide this? If humanity possesses such military power, why pretend to be weak? Reeves looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of as many delegates as he could. Because we learned a lesson from our own history. When we were confined to one planet, we spent thousands of years fighting each other. We built weapons that could destroy our entire world. We came very close to extinction multiple times. When we finally achieved peace and began exploring space, we made a collective decision. He paused, letting the chamber fall completely silent. We decided that we would not be feared. We would not be the species that other worlds looked at with terror. We wanted to be friends, partners, traders, explorers. So we hid our teeth. We showed only our smile. And for 30 years, it worked beautifully. We built relationships. We shared culture. We integrated into galactic society. Until now, Vorin said quietly. Until the Kralix forced our hand, Reeves corrected. We would have preferred to continue as we were. But we will not sacrifice our people on the altar of appearances. The Kralix attacked our colony. They would have killed 3,000 civilians. We stopped them. If that makes us frightening to the galaxy, then so be it. The chamber fell into a tense silence. Reeves could see delegates conferring with their aides, sending urgent messages back to their home governments. Everything was changing, and everyone knew it. A voice spoke from the back of the chamber. Perhaps humanity is more dangerous than the Kralix. Reeves turned to see who had spoken. It was Ambassador Kelrix of the Zarn Imperium, a species that resembled large insectoids with multiple arms and compound eyes. The Zarn were known for their paranoia and their powerful military. Explain your concern, Ambassador Kelrix, Reeves said. The Kralix are aggressive, but they are honest about their aggression. Everyone knows they are a threat. But humanity? You have spent 3 decades pretending to be harmless while building a secret military force. You have infiltrated our society. You have established stations and outposts across Federation space. For all we know, every human commercial vessel could be a disguised warship. That is absurd, Reeves said. Is it? You just admitted that Station Osiris, registered as a research facility, is actually a military installation. How many others? How many human merchant ships have hidden weapons? How many of your diplomats are actually intelligence agents? Reeves felt his temper rising but kept his voice calm. Ambassador Kelrix, you are allowing fear to override logic. Yes, we have military assets that were not publicly disclosed. But we have never used them for conquest. We have never threatened another species. Every action we have taken has been defensive in nature. You attacked Kralix vessels, Kelrix countered. To protect civilians from an unprovoked assault. The Kralix were the aggressors. This time. But now we know humanity has the power to threaten anyone in the Federation. What happens the next time? What if humanity decides to use this secret fleet for expansion? For conquest? The chamber erupted again with debate. Some delegates agreed with Kelrix. Others defended humanity. The noise level rose until Chancellor Vorin once again imposed silence. This council requires time to process these revelations, Vorin announced. Ambassador Reeves, humanity is officially requested to provide a complete inventory of your military assets within 30 days. This inventory will be reviewed by a special committee. Until then, this session is adjourned. Reeves bowed respectfully and left the chamber. As soon as he was in the privacy of his diplomatic transport, he activated his secure communication link. Admiral Torres appeared on the screen. I watched the session. You handled it well. Did I? Half the council thinks we are liars. The other half thinks we are a threat. This could destroy everything we have built. Or it could be the beginning of something new, Torres said. Elena Voss saved 3,000 lives at Theta 7. Word of that is spreading. Not everyone sees us as villains. Reeves rubbed his temples. The Council wants a full inventory of our military within 30 days. Will you give it to them? I do not know. If we reveal everything, we lose our edge. But if we refuse, we confirm their worst suspicions. Reeves looked at the Admiral. What would you do? Torres considered the question. I would tell them the truth. Not all of it, maybe, but enough to show we are not hiding an invasion force. Then I would make it very clear that we will use our strength to protect Federation members, not threaten them. Become the Federation's unofficial military arm. Someone has to do it. The Council issues warnings and sanctions, but they have no teeth. Species like the Kralix keep pushing because they know there are no real consequences. If humanity can change that, if we can show that aggression will be met with force, maybe we can actually achieve real peace. Reeves thought about this. It was a radical shift from humanity's original strategy of remaining small and unthreatening. But perhaps Torres was right. Perhaps the galaxy needed to see that peaceful did not mean powerless. I will present a proposal to the Council, Reeves said. We will reveal enough of our capabilities to ease their fears, but we will also make it clear that we intend to use our strength to support the Federation, not undermine it. Good luck, Ambassador. You are going to need it. The transmission ended. Reeves sat alone in the transport, watching the stars pass by through the viewport. 30 years of careful diplomacy had just been upended in a single 4-minute battle. Now humanity had to figure out how to navigate this new reality. On Earth, in the secure bunker that housed the Global Defense Command, the conversation was more direct. President Catherine Morrison sat at the head of a table surrounded by military leaders and intelligence directors. So we are finally done pretending, General Marcus Webb said. He was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, a gruff man with 40 years of military service. About damn time. This is not a celebration, General, Morrison said. We have just made ourselves a target for every paranoid species in the galaxy. We were already targets. The Kralix proved that. At least now we can defend ourselves openly. The Federation is demanding a full inventory of our forces, Morrison said. Intelligence suggests several species are already forming coalitions out of fear of human expansion. Director Lisa Zhang of Earth Intelligence spoke up. She was small and quiet, but her mind was sharp as any blade. We have intercepted communications from 17 different species discussing potential preemptive actions against humanity. Nothing concrete yet, but the fear is real. Morrison felt the weight of the moment. Every decision now could lead to war or peace on a galactic scale. What are our options? She asked. Admiral Torres, attending via holographic link, spoke first. We have 3 basic paths. 1. We can fully disclose our military and hope transparency calms everyone down. 2. We can refuse to disclose and prepare for potential conflict. 3. We can offer a compromise where we reveal some capabilities while keeping strategic assets secret. What do you recommend? Option 3, but with a twist. We reveal our defensive capabilities fully. We show them our stations, our patrol fleets, our planetary defenses. But we keep our offensive strike capabilities under wraps. Let them see we can protect ourselves, but maintain uncertainty about whether we can project power into their territory. Morrison nodded slowly. That could work. We appear transparent while maintaining deterrence. She looked at General Webb. Can we mobilize additional forces without triggering panic? We have been conducting quiet mobilization for 2 weeks, since the Kralix started their expansion. Another month and we will have 70% of our military on active status. But Madam President, we need to consider what happens if diplomacy fails. If multiple species decide humanity is too dangerous to tolerate, we could face a coalition attack. Could we win such a war? Morrison asked. The room fell silent. Finally, Admiral Torres spoke. Against any single species, yes. Against 5 or 6, probably. Against the entire Federation? He shook his head. We are strong, but we are not invincible. Our best weapons are surprise and determination. Once everyone knows what we can do, once they start preparing specifically to counter our tactics, the odds shift. Morrison stood and walked to the window. Outside, the lights of Geneva sparkled in the evening darkness. Somewhere out there, millions of humans lived their lives with no idea how close they were to galactic war. We will offer cooperation, Morrison decided. Ambassador Reeves will present a proposal to the Federation. We will share defensive capabilities. We will offer to assist in protecting other member worlds from aggression. And we will make it very clear that while we desire peace, we will not hesitate to defend ourselves or our allies. She turned back to the table. But prepare for the worst. If the galaxy decides to test us, they will learn what Captain Voss taught the Kralix. Humanity can be peaceful, but we are never helpless. The meeting concluded, and the orders went out across human space. Fleets moved into defensive positions. Stations went to heightened alert. And on hundreds of worlds, human colonists began preparing for the possibility that their quiet lives were about to become very complicated. In the darkness between stars, Station Osiris continued its watch. Captain Voss stood at her viewport, thinking about the battle that had changed everything. She had no regrets. Those 3,000 colonists were alive because she had acted. But she wondered what price humanity would ultimately pay for dropping the mask. Behind her, Lieutenant Park approached. Captain, we are receiving priority traffic from Earth Command. Fleet Admiral Torres wants to speak with you. Voss turned from the viewport. Put him through. Torres appeared on the holographic display. Captain Voss, I wanted to personally thank you for your actions at Theta 7. You saved lives and you made the right call. Thank you, Admiral. Though I suspect I have also made our lives significantly more complicated. Torres smiled. That is an understatement. But you followed your conscience and your training. That is all anyone can ask. He paused. I also wanted to give you advance notice. Station Osiris is being redesignated as a Rapid Response Command Center. You will be receiving additional ships and personnel. Your mission is expanding from observation to active defense of the surrounding sectors. Voss felt a mix of pride and concern. Are we expecting more trouble? We are expecting everything, Captain. The galaxy knows about us now. Some will seek our friendship. Others will test our resolve. And a few will probably try to destroy us. Your station is on the front line of whatever comes next. Understood, Admiral. Osiris will be ready. The transmission ended, and Voss returned to her viewport. The stars looked the same as they always had, cold and distant and infinite. But everything else had changed. Humanity had stepped out of the shadows, and there was no going back. The question now was whether the galaxy would learn to accept humanity as a partner, or whether they would force Earth to become something humanity had always feared. A conqueror. A threat. A species that survived not through friendship, but through strength. Captain Elena Voss hoped it would not come to that. But if it did, she would be ready. They all would be. Because that was what humans did. They adapted. They survived. And when pushed, they pushed back harder. The age of human restraint was over. The age of human resolve had begun.